My sister-in-law about 3 years ago asked me what my career aspirations were. And I said, I've abandoned having a career path or career goals. I now have revenue goals. I now have personal objectives that I'm trying to achieve. And so I'm not hung up on going from title A to title B to vice president of title C to director of title D. I'm much more about what's the impact that I can bring and how much of the quality of life can I kind of maintain.
Nice.
And in order to do that, as a consultant, what Marcus and I spend an enormous amount of energy and effort doing is getting a better understanding of the problems that we're trying to help the enterprises solve. And I think there's some real great opportunity for expressing my identity in terms of how I would approach solving your problem. So rather than kind of say, okay, I'm going to be a designer, I'm going to be a designer and a programmer, and I'm responding to a job posting, spending part of that time as a candidate asking, what's the real problems you're trying to solve? And then describing their identity on how they do that. And because this is, unfortunately, we're almost out of time, going to be our last question. I will answer the other thing that I said at the beginning. I describe myself, and other people describe me, as the VP of GSD. I'm the vice president of getting shit done. And so my big USP is, I don't care, it may be messy, but it will indeed get done. And that's what people want, is they want results. So anyway, back to the question, which was, I'll kind of summarize again. Can you tell me how that would work from a candidate perspective to listen more?
Yeah, no, I love the framing of what is the problem an organization is hiring for? Why do they need this position, this person, this talent? And how can that person show up and, to your point, drive results? And I mean, that goes to who you all are, right? Wicked problems. And I love that. It's the VUCA idea, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. I live in that too. I think complexity theory and complexity science is the way the world works. It's not linearity anymore. And I think that's what I'm encouraging people to unpack within themselves, is their own complexity that honestly is pretty unconscious to them. So the Venn diagram idea, which I think underlies any wicked problem, is what are the different parts of the problem? How are they intersecting and intertwined? Because it's interdependencies and variability and all of that. That goes with us as people. Like the research I did comes out of intersectionality work, which is in diversity studies, that identity is a huge spectrum of things: age, class, ability, religion, gender, all of that. And those are social constructs. Professional identity is one vein of many. So you're already intersected with all these different identities together. So you're already just like a hybrid person, but we don't say that. So I'm using this language and framework just within a professional capacity to help people realize they've got to unpack the layers of just this land of their professional, like who they are. So I don't know if I'm exactly answering your question, because it's a hard one. I mean, to show up as a complex worker, I think it takes a lot of self-awareness. And that is a step people jump over. They jump right to, let me write a resume and a cover letter. But if you don't know how to even describe yourself, who are you on your resume, then you can never show up in an interview or even just in networking to reflect, I know who I am, because you get 10 seconds in that first impression to say, I'm Sarabeth, I'm a creative disruptor. I use my artist, researcher, designer identities to radically transform systems and people. Let me talk to you about how I can help you, right?
Have you rehearsed that?
Maybe
really
once or twice. So I think it's a lot of tools. And I think you're right, it's practice. And people have to nail that introduction. Who are you? What do you do? Boom. And I think that's part of this wicked world we're in, is show up as your wicked personality and persona.